Hey there. Welcome to Discover the Divine You. My name is Kimberly Nicole. Right now I'm on a journey to figure out who the real Kimberly Nicole is, who I was divinely created to be. So I created this podcast in hopes others could benefit from what I'm learning and the different ways I'm connecting with a higher power. I created this space for honest conversations about healing, creativity, spiritual growth, and learning to reconnect with myself while living presently in my life. I'm a mom of 3. I have a job. I'm in 12-step recovery. Real life happens every day. So this is a space of no pressure, no expectations, no perfection, just progress. A journey towards finding peace, clarity, and connection to something bigger than ourselves, going from chaos to calm. So here we go. I'm so glad you're here to take this journey with me. Let's get creative. Episode 21, I am a child of God. Hi, it's me, Kimberly Nicole. I'm feeling the piggy tails lately, the different versions of the piggy tails. Today, on our 90 and 90 of the Discover the Divine You, we are going to discuss humility. I think I touched on this topic too a little bit in earlier episodes. But to be completely honest, I can't remember. So if you've heard this before, sorry, not sorry. But I think it's a really important topic to touch on because initially I used to think that humility equaled being a doormat and just like thought you were nothing and nobody and you did and said whatever other people wanted and needed because then everyone was happy. So basically people pleasing, which I have come to learn is not humility. To me, the definition of humility is being 100% willing to accept my true identity, which is I'm a child of God. I humbly accept that mantle and acknowledge the power that comes with it and also the responsibility. Humiliation sounds very close, but is totally different. So in my opinion, being humble means I'm no worse or better than anyone else. I'm a child of God, just like you. And humiliation is me thinking I am more or less than someone else. I'm either humiliating someone else or I'm being humiliated or allowing myself to be humiliated at the cost of my own self-worth, which is no bueno, right? So I like to focus on the fact that I'm no worse or better than anyone else. I may be making better decisions or taking better care of myself or being kinder than someone else, but I'm no worse or better than anybody else. And that was a difficult concept for me. At first, I had to separate stuff because to me, if you were making good choices, you were a good person. If you were making bad choices, you're not such a good person. When the truth is, there's a little bit of bad and good in all of us. I know I have not always done the best things, and I have said and done things I am definitely not proud of. And part of humility also is admitting my faults, admitting my part, being humble enough to say, hey, I effed up. That's not the way I want to do things. I really need to improve this to prevent that from happening in the future because it is not my intent to become or be someone who harms other people knowingly or unknowingly. That being said, I think some people put the harm on themselves but place the blame on others. For instance, with me, I used to be like, oh, this is my mom's fault. This is my dad's fault. This is my sibling's fault. When really I was the one I was giving my power away. I was allowing other people to hurt me because I was believing the crappy things that they were saying to me or taking on their stuff that wasn't mine to begin with. That was one thing I really loved that my therapist taught me is that I'm not a victim and I don't have to take other people's stuff on me. I need to make sure I'm taking appropriate responsibility. So it's not my responsibility to make other people happy. It's not my responsibility to please other people or do things to or for other people because of an obligation. There's very little that I'm actually responsible for other than what I do and say. So my cute little version just was always offended and always hurt, and also very forgiving and loving. So I had to find a balance with that. And we've talked about forgiveness already, powerlessness, gosh, what else? Unmanageability, surrender, hope, our higher power, faith, trust, acceptance. Like there's so many things that go into humility that it's a process. It's not something that I was able to understand overnight, and it's definitely not something that I have mastered. I don't think humility is really something that we can master until it's like almost the end of our time here on this planet. So I think it's really important to just remember whose and who I am, right? I am a child of God, and I am the real Kimberly Nicole, right? I am God's, and I am a child of God. Like that is my identity. And if my identity, I feel like, is rooted in my higher power, then all the other stuff that people say and do to me hurts me less and affects me negatively less often, because I know it's a bunch of hogwash most of the time. It's them deflecting or projecting something onto me, and I don't have to take that responsibility onto myself, right? That's part of my humility process. The humiliation process for me is when I take on other people's responsibility or feelings or whatever the case may be, and then I attempt to use my own power to then heal or fix whatever I think is broken. Or then just completely play the victim and be like, why did you do this to me? And give my power away completely. So I'm either taking other people's stuff or I'm giving my stuff away. Neither are helpful for me or the other person, to be completely honest. And I find it scary to be the real version of humble, because like people look at you funny when you say like, oh, I'm a daughter of God, or I'm a son of God, or I'm a child of God. Like that's my identity. People are like, what the frick? Like, okay, cuckoo bananas. And at first that was embarrassing and scary and uncomfortable for me. But now it's like, oh, who the frick cares if they don't think that that's a thing? They are 100% free to feel and think however they want. But I don't have to change the way I think and feel because of other people. Growing up, I was a total chameleon. I would be who everyone else wanted and needed me to be because I wanted to prevent anger, resentment, fear, whatever. And I also, now I know the secret real reason was I wanted to control the situation, so then I would feel less afraid, because if I was in control of the situation, I could control the outcome, so then I didn't have to be scared. Truth is, that's not a thing. Even if you think you're controlling something, like even if someone calls you controlling, you're not actually controlling anything. It's like, bless your sweetheart. You think you're controlling stuff, but really you're just making chaos for yourself. And so for me, I got way more power back, way more control feeling. Like I don't think of control necessarily as in like the I'm controlling. It's like, oh, I feel in control of myself and my surroundings and my relationship with my higher power. And the more humble I am, the more in control I feel, and the less chaos there is around me, the less contention, the less contempt, the less resentment I have. And that's something that I think is really the basis for my foundation of peace and calm. If I want peace and calm, I have to know where that comes from. Therefore, I have to be humble about whose I am and where I come from and whose image I was created in, which I believe I was created in the image of my heavenly parents. And if that is true, then I need to accept the fact that I am a child of my higher power. And then I have that humility basis so I can feel that peace. I can feel that calm because nobody can take that away from me. Nobody can take away the fact that I'm a child of God, that my worth and my value lies within a power greater than myself, which then in turn means it's in, greater than any other person, place, or thing on this planet. That brings a great peace to my mind and my heart. And I love that. I know the difference between humility and humiliation today because I was a total doormat for a really long time. I did so many things and said so many things because I was afraid of what others would think or say about me. And only recently I've been able to say, oh, no, thanks. I don't want to do that. And some of the people I say that to, they're like, we've been doing this for a long time. Like, why is this all of a sudden a thing you don't want to do? And I am able to nicely and gently say, actually, this is a thing I've never really enjoyed doing, but I always felt I had to do in order to please everyone. And now I'm not really in the business of people pleasing. And so I'm okay sitting this one out. I hope you have the best time. And I think if you want to keep doing that, that's awesome. But it's just not for me. And maybe I'll change my mind next week or in a year from now. But right now, it's not something I want to do. And some people are very offended. Some people are very understanding. And some people are kind of like, okay, whatever. And that's okay. And part of my humility is understanding that I don't have to be humiliated when people don't understand what I need to do for me to be okay. And it's okay for them not to be okay when I'm doing what I need to do to be okay, right? So I give that all over to higher power. All those feelings and thoughts and worries, that come around when people don't think and feel and act the way I do, those are none of my business, right? Those are insecurities. Those don't come from my higher power. That's the humiliation part, not the humble part. The humble part is, hey, sweet girl, we're cool. It's just me and higher power and you, and we've got this. Like, we don't have to go participate in that. YOLO's not a thing for me in the sense where I have to do everything everyone asks me to do. YOLO for me right now, like you only live once, is you only live once. So don't do crap you don't want to do, right? And that's not to say that everything I do, I necessarily am like stoked to do. Like, I don't love doing the dishes. I don't love doing the laundry. I don't love, cleaning nasty toilets after several males in my house use it. But I do love having a home. I do love having a safe space for my family to gather and live. I do love feeling like I did a good deed and worked hard and created something beautiful for my family. So that is definitely not something that I enjoy doing, but it's something that brings me joy, if that makes any sense. And I do love me a clean house. It just makes me feel so good. Like when I wake up in the morning and the whole kitchen is clean and there's no dishes in the sink, I'm like, hallelujah, won't he do it? It's my favorite. And that's not only me, that's higher power. Like, higher power helps me do the things I don't love doing because the outcome is totally worth it. That feeling of just peace and relief and safety that comes from doing this thing I didn't love doing, but knowing I really want that outcome. And having a humble heart and recognizing like, okay, God, I don't really love this thing, but I love the way this feels. So help me get here, right? We've talked about the transition, the uncomfortable part in between where I am and where I want to go. And God helps me get there. He is the bridge that gets me from point A to point B. And so I invite everybody to think on humility and versus humiliation, because I think that is a huge part of where I struggled with my recovery in the beginning, is not knowing the difference. So I invite you to just kind of think on that, write about it a little bit maybe. And if you want, share with me what came up for you. And maybe that'll spark another topic for one of our 90 and 90. And with that, I will leave you with the hope and wish that you will do something kind for yourself, because you deserve it. And until we create again, I will see you later. Hey, thanks so much for being here today. You're my favorite. I'm so glad you came. I know life is busy, so I really do appreciate the time you're taking to do some self-care and hang out with me for a little bit. If something that we talked about today resonated with you and you want to dig a little deeper, I put together a 5-minute creative reset guide called Chaos to Calm that you can access in the show's description. And I would be so grateful if you'd subscribe and share this podcast with someone out there that you think could benefit from what we're creating here together. Also, remember, I am just sharing my experience, strength, and hope as I understand it here. So if bigger emotions come up, please take care of yourself and reach out to a licensed professional or someone that you trust for support. You are not alone in this. So until we create together again, please be kind to yourself and do something creative, because you deserve it.